not gonna drink any more water until I need it.
That was fast.
Let the interrogation begin.
When I go to the bathroom,
Kassie told me she listened to the entire season, 3 seasons, I guess.
Holy smokes.
Except I haven't gotten past 27. So I'm about 5 hours off. So
I think that's a record. I haven't listened to them all. I mean, I was there. And I was listening at the time, but just listening again, I haven't done that. Yeah. So you're probably the only one.
You hold the record.
You hold the record.
For now. I still need to binge a bunch.
You watched 1.5, one of which was the 5-minute mic test.
My shoelace got stuck.
What are you doing?
I'm moving over.
You working on something?
No. And yes, I'm always working on something. Oh, my water. Check 1 2 1 2. Check. Yeah, this is good.
This is very good.
Does it show like the sound waves on it?
Yeah, there's a little. Yeah.
Coolio.
See, if I snap my fingers, I redline. I actually redlined them both.
So,
here we are with the twins.
Hi.
We can't really say that, though, can we? Because they're not the only twins in the school.
no, but you guys, we've been trying to get you guys for a while, but you had your play,
Yeah.
and I think, what was it, like a month ago? We were like, let's talk to the Linds.
Yeah. No, more than that. It was like 2 months ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
Is there a date on the
form?
release form?
I threw it away.
That's good.
As long as you had permission, right?
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
Are we going to close the window?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not that noisy. I'm just afraid I might start sweating.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Let's just check that.
It's not too bad.
It's not bad.
These microphones are good.
Coolio.
So, Toledo Surprise.
Well, hold on a second. For our listeners at home, we should actually say the names of the people we're speaking to.
Yeah.
So this is Mr. Turpin and Mr. Kung, and we're sitting here with Kristie and Kassie Lind.
Hi.
Grade 8 twins at Delview Secondary.
So, Toledo Surprise. Have you actually gone through the recipes in the Drowsy Chaperone and done some baking?
Not yet.
No.
I do some baking at home, but...
Do you?
Yeah, but
So you've never actually made Toledo Surprise?
I've never made a Toledo Surprise.
I don't think Toledo Surprise exists.
Well,
search
I
it.
have some proof here.
What?
This is based on Pauline Renee's... and this is she made a whole website based on Broadway hits.
What?
And
Oh
then she
my
has like the
gosh.
Pink Ladies and all that kind of stuff. But the recipe for Toledo Surprises, inspired by the Drowsy Chaperone, bourbon peach pecan cupcakes infused with a butter bourbon sauce. Bourbon, not bourbon. And drizzled with bourbon brown sugar, buttercream icing topped with chopped pecans.
And it says, it turns out the surprise in Toledo Surprise is bourbon.
And there is directions how to make the sugary yum-yum crust.
Oof.
So there you go.
Now, does it say that first you chop the nuts,
And then you pound the
Pound the
dough.
dough.
then you bake it up nice and slow?
Then you got the
your
Toledo Surprise.
That actually sounds delicious. I think we need to try this.
It looked delicious, the color photo.
Well, like the...
I love peaches, too. Like, this is one
Yeah,
of
it's
my
got
favorite
peaches
fruits.
in
Yeah. Pick the peach, peel the skin, mush it up,
Throw it in.
So it's a whole website with all these inspired by Broadway.
I might have to do some baking on Tony night.
I want to try this.
How many songs are there, though, that reference desserts?
I think she does other stuff on her website, but there's 8 different Broadway-inspired recipes that she made. So
Is there anything from Hamilton?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Like the Hamilton sandwich?
Hamburger.
Oh.
That'd be cool. I was trying to... no. Can't think of any other...
Oh, Sweeney Todd. There would be the best pies in London. Do you know Sweeney Todd?
No.
I've heard of it.
Okay, so the basic premise, like, you've had a meat pie before, like shepherd's pie or chicken pot pie, okay?
Yeah.
So the basic premise, and there's a lot more to it, is that Sweeney Todd is a barber who shaves men's faces, then slits their throats, and in order to get rid of the dead body, he chops it up, and then his neighbor friend, Mrs. Lovett, uses the human meat as the meat in the pies.
Oh. That would be an interesting recipe.
It's a very interesting musical, especially when you find out that it's a comedy. It's a musical comedy.
Well, you went to Sweeney Todd.
I did. I went to a recent production of Sweeney
Set up
Todd.
as a pie shop.
It was?
And they sold pies there, right?
Yes, they were delicious. I had steak and stout from...
That's what you thought it was.
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
Unexpected cannibalism.
Yeah, the actual pies that were served were sponsored by a local pie shop. They have locations in Burnaby and Vancouver called the Pie Hole. And the pies are very good. My wife and I actually still go back to the Pie Hole for pies ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it worked.
It worked.
That's a good concept. Yeah. So you guys got this role, and I thought, when I went to see it, I didn't know what to expect, because I had been listening to the cast recording with my daughter, and she loves Toledo Surprise. She keeps wanting me to play it over and over again, because she thinks about you guys and how funny it was. But when I saw it, finally, it's one of those ones where you listen to the recording, it's like separate songs, and then when it comes together, this is how the story goes. I didn't think it would work, but it works so well, and Lind did a great job tying everything together, and there's just so perfectly cast. Good job, Mr. Turpin.
Well, thank you.
And you guys,
I mean,
when you came out, it was hilarious with your pastry chef costumes and dancing and
the banter, the puns.
the toughness.
Oh, the puns. Cassie likes to make
gangsters.
puns.
Yeah.
I like to make puns
A
occasionally.
lot of people find them pun-likeable, but I find them enjoyable.
So, did you guys audition for this role, or how did that work? Or did you just
We
say-
auditioned.
Yeah.
Cassie was pretty set on the gangsters role. I was basically just like, I'll accept any role. I just
A little confession, I picked my audition song like 2 days before the audition because I couldn't find anything, and it was very desperate.
yeah.
So, but you both ended up auditioning this song, the Toledo Surprise.
No, we didn't audition with Toledo Surprise. We auditioned with different songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's typically considered taboo to go into your first audition with a song from that show. Like in any audition, right? Like, say you're auditioning for The Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. The last song you want to sing for your audition is part of your world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And why is that?
Typically, in a first call, you're dealing with a director that is sitting through multiple auditions. If you see them at the beginning of the day, their attitude towards the audition is going to be different than if you see them at the end of the day.
They don't want to hear the same song over and over.
Well, there's that. You don't want to hear the same song over and over again. And in a first audition setting, typically, if you don't hear that song exactly as you imagine it in your head, you're not going to get called back.
Yeah.
I mean, like, last school year, we were in Shrek the Musical and ESS, and they didn't get us to pick an audition song. They just said, learn this part of I Know It's Today, and sing that.
Yeah.
And then you have to sing either Happy Birthday or Oh Canada. I tried Oh Canada. I tried to hit a high note at the end, and my voice cracked. I can't recreate that, but I somehow got it, so...
Is that the way that they auditioned everybody?
I don't know, because they just called in, like, all the younger kids.
Yeah.
I didn't see everybody audition.
I don't know if that was just an elementary school thing.
Fair enough.
I think that they auditioned with different songs.
Yeah. In 2009, I was on the creative team at Theatre of the Stars for their production of Annie. And I remember the day that we were seeing all the kids coming out for Annie. And there was one particular half hour of auditions where we saw the exact same song over and over and over again. And it was very clear that all of these girls played on the same baseball team. And the coach of the baseball team had driven them to the audition in the same van because they all came in their baseball uniforms. And they all sang Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And basically handed off the sheet music to the other one as they were leaving and entering the room. So we kind of knew, it's like, all right, the next 7 auditions are going to be unique renditions of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We didn't cast any of them.
What were your audition songs for this?
Cassie?
I think... I don't remember the musical it's from because I just searched up what are some good audition songs and scrolled through and found one that I could kind of sing.
She sang, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I Want to Go to Hollywood from, it's a Maury Yeston musical, Grand Hotel?
Yeah, I think so.
I sang a Disney song. I sang I'm Almost There from The Princess and the Frog.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost there.
Which is a great little jazz piece, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then you got the part.
Yeah.
And then you got the part where you're required to work together.
Yeah, because like last year we were working together, but we were never on stage at the same time. So this is a really unique experience.
Except for like the closing number. Where
the closing number. But
I almost there was supposed to be like a freestyle dance thing, and then a dance routine, and then another freestyle dance thing. And back when I thought that the floss was the coolest dance ever, I was gonna do that, but luckily our director hated the floss with a burning passion.
Everybody can do the floss now.
I can't.
Really?
But I've also never tried.
We need to teach you.
No, I'm good.
Cassie can teach you.
Sweet.
It takes a little bit of coordination.
Yeah, because it's your hips and your hands have to be moving in.
Well, your hands have to move at the same time.
Yes.
But then it's like really repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're often moving in opposition. Like your hips go one way, your hands go one way.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Enough about the floss.
The thing for me that was exciting about casting these two in this role, and again, I need to...
Did you know right away these two? The gangsters.
Well, as soon as they came in, that was my thought. I was like, oh, great, I have twins. This is going to work out great. On Broadway, the gangsters were played by brothers. Not twins, but actual biological brothers. And in every subsequent production that I've seen, it's just been two random people that aren't related. But seeing the Broadway company and seeing the two brothers was very interesting because I was like, there's obviously a history that goes beyond the stage. Like, you can tell that these two can almost predict each other's movements and each other's tone of voice. And then I got to thinking about the Sedines, because I'm a big sports fan. And there was something very unique about watching the twins play hockey, that they could almost predict where each other was going to be on the ice. And they would like put the puck somewhere, and then all of a sudden one would be there. And I was like, that's what I want. I want for this role, I want there to have that real
So he was
connection.
thinking of the Sedines when you guys were...
The twin telepathic
The twin
connection.
telepathy, yes.
I wish there was a twin telepathic connection. At one point, I was like, oh my gosh, we can guess what each other's numbers are when we think of one number. And then I realized we were just always thinking of the number 7.
Because apparently that was just the number we chose.
Yeah.
But
we know each other really well because we grew up together. So
we live
there's
together.
a little bit of predictability.
So they could practice their lines together at home.
You did.
They also have performing arts experience together that goes beyond the school, so I knew that they were going to be at the same level as each other. And I just thought it was a really great fit. And they came into rehearsal right off the bat with the comedic timing that those roles needed. It needed to be like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about comedy, is that the lines need to be delivered so quickly that if you're not really paying attention, the audience might miss it. And then you kind of lean in and it's like, oh, and that's why it's funny.
yeah.
So
like,
it worked.
We have to say some lines together, and
Yes.
we managed to say that at the exact same time.
Which was perfect. Which is exactly what that role needs. That role. I'm calling it a singular role.
It's to die for, that
Yes,
line.
Exactly.
And the whole thing was really well cast. And Giovanna as Kitty. And she worked really well with you guys, too.
Yeah.
It was really funny to watch.
She's a really funny character.
She is. Her whole accent and demeanor, and it's just perfect. They were all very well cast, I have to say.
I don't consider myself to be a great director, but the arrogant compliment that I always give my actors is the one area where I do feel like I am very successful often in my directing is in my casting ability.
Well, that's like half of it, right? If you can get the right people in the right roles and their personalities, either they grow into the personality of the character or they bring their personality into the character.
Absolutely.
That's like half the battle, right?
Yeah.
And it worked out really well this time.
And it was super great to work with these two young ladies. And what's really wonderful is that they're in grade 8. I get them for 4 more years after this one.
Fun!
Yeah. At first, it was sort of hard to, like, understand my character because I wasn't sure what should be where. But then me and Cassie came up together with the Mafia Backstory.
Oh, yes. The Mafia Backstory.
Where,
quite a story.
It's a story. Have you read it? Or?
No.
They wrote it down.
Yeah, I don't have it with me.
So you made up this didn't come with any of the materials or anything?
No,
you came up with something.
We came up with a huge Mafia Backstory.
So what is it?
Mafia A and Mafia B. You understand it better than I do.
Okay, so the backstory we came up with is that we both work for 2 separate mafias, except so the smaller one is Mafia B, the bigger one is Mafia A. Mafia B is the one that wants to extort and collect money and stuff from Feldzig. Mafia A has an underlying thing where they want the wedding to go on because, long story short, they want to kill Robert Martin.
Like, Robert Martin's gonna go on his honeymoon with Janet Van de Graaff, and then the gangsters will eventually kill Robert Martin.
For what?
Okay, so Mafia A runs a cocaine smuggling thing, and so
Robert Martin's like
he's the face of Bright All toothpaste, which is kind of like All Bright toothpaste except in show. And then so Robert Martin has unknowingly become the face of this industry, but this industry is getting their cocaine from intercepting Mafia A's smuggling routes. So it's killing the cocaine industry. And
Kitty's a part of this too, I think. That's how she remembers us, is because she worked in like the cocaine industry for like 2 weeks or something.
Is she as dumb as she looks?
Yes.
Maybe that's why she's as dumb, as because she worked in the cocaine industry.
Wow.
This is quite the elaborate backstory.
I sort of want to write a fan fiction on it.
There you go.
Second part of Drowsy Chaperone. Drowsy Chaperone 2.
The sequel.
The sequel. What would be called?
The Mafia sequel.
Story.
Or you could just call it Toledo Surprise.
Toledo Surprise.
That's the Toledo Surprise.
And they end up in Toledo.
Where is Toledo?
Ohio.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I thought
you ever spent any time in Ohio?
I thought Toledo was like in Europe or something. No, that was
Torino?
Torino, Italy.
Maybe that was like in the Middle Ages Europe. I don't know. I remember seeing it on a map at some point.
Well, there probably is.
Maybe.
There is.
Maybe.
There's a London, Ontario. We can have another Toledo in Europe.
Sure. Yeah. So you guys have a lot of experience already. How many years have you been acting?
We've been doing professional background acting for a while. I think since we were like 6.
But that's just like background
Since you were
stuff.
6. Okay,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
so like extras? Or
Yeah, extras.
So,
We've gone for auditions too. Cassie in April, she wrapped up her photo doubling at a Disney show. And I did extra work on that too.
What is photo doubling?
So legally, the crew of a production, since it's mostly comprised of adults and stuff, can work longer than the child actors. So to maximize the time they can film for each day in a Disney show with primarily child actors, they bring in people who kind of look like the people, and so they do stuff like filming the back of my head and filming my hands, and I end up with a lot of weird compliments like, wow, you were so good at holding that phone for 45 seconds.
Or sometimes Cassie has to put in a charger into the wall, and they're like, put in the charger, but like faster, and it's a little hard to put in the charger, and then she completely missed the wall. So if you look at Cassie from behind, she looks exactly like another actress who lives in LA right now.
Wow.
That's why she got her hair done.
Photo double.
Yeah. So, that's...
And what is the name of the show?
called Gabby Duran. It's gonna be released.
Gabby Duran?
Yeah, it's based off a book series, but like really loosely based off of it. As in, the name of the lead character is the same, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, the names of all other characters are changed. The character, the lead character herself is a completely different personality.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
And it's never, like, it hasn't aired yet.
It hasn't aired yet. I think it's gonna come out in the fall or something like that.
Any word of a second season?
Hopefully.
I think so. I don't know if I'm gonna be on it. I hope.
As long as the main actress doesn't grow too far from Cassie.
Yeah, because eventually I can only keep working on that particular show until either the main actress is at the age where she can work as long as the crew, or until I no longer look exactly the same from behind.
You've never met that actress then?
I have.
You have met
She's
her?
really nice. Her name is Kylie Cantrell.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a really nice person.
So you have the same hairstyle and hands.
And like body shape, etc. Except for like the face.
Yeah.
They look sort of different.
That's interesting. I didn't know about photo doubling.
It's interesting. I haven't done it yet because I'm unique.
You have to find like a real, because they like, you could probably photo double for like someone who's like 16, but the problem is
when you're 16,
you work. Yeah.
I mean, because like usually they're like 12-year-olds or something, they're like at a certain height, and Cassie happens to be at that like certain height where she looks exactly like a 12-year-old.
I was almost going to be in this background shoot where they basically need people who are older than 6th grade but who look to age 6th grade because they need age 6th grade because they needed a bunch of people to sit in a classroom for a background scene where this person has to go up and present a very vulgar rap song, and they don't want actual 6th graders exposed to that, but I think they just I think they decided I looked too old or something at last minute, so I'm not going to do that anymore.
Well, that's good. You weren't exposed to the vulgar rap song then.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
your mind is pure.
Typically, you cast older actors to play younger people. That happens a lot. Not just in film and television. It happens a lot in theater, too. Like, look at any professional production of Grease. They're meant to play high school seniors. But you know they're adults. You know they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that because they can work longer?
Maybe because they're like more mature.
Yeah, more experienced actor.
Yeah.
But they look younger, so that's like...
you can look young. Every actor has what is called a playable age range. And it's always a compliment when you get, hey, you know, you could play 15. It's like, I'm in my 30s. I mean, I couldn't play 15 anymore. But you have a playable age range that you could play. And the age range is a little bit different in theater than it is in film. In film, it's far closer to your actual age because the camera's very close to you. In theater, you have the opportunity to play quite a broad range of ages.
Yeah.
So you started when you were 6. How did you get into it?
Our mom got us into it.
I think we were born preemies, and no, like, daycares would take us, and when she was looking around for daycares...
She found, like, an agent, and she was like, if a daycare won't upset my kids, I can get them to work.
Why pay for daycare when I can get my kids paid?
That's so smart.
Yeah, that is smart.
That is so smart.
So...
You spend a day, you know, filming whatever. It's
like the value of money, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you already have college funds then?
Not entirely. Yeah. We're saving up for that.
I save the majority of the stuff I make, and then I spend some of it on little tiny things like buying stuffed dinosaurs.
You're into stuffed dinosaurs.
A lot of stuffed dinosaurs.
I have one. We named it Moocav after... It means it's vacuum but backwards because we were like, oh, there's like the vacuum thing that puts the stuffing in the thing. How about we name it vacuum? And Mom was like, I'm not naming it vacuum. And I was like, Moocav. So it stuck.
That's hilarious.
You guys are hilarious. Yeah. I first met you in Infotech.
Yeah.
And I forget who I taught first.
I think you taught Cassie first.
I taught Cassie first, yeah.
And then I was in the next rotation.
And then you were in the next rotation, and then something came up about Morse code.
Oh, I know Morse code.
Oh, yeah.
Right, you did a website about Morse code?
Cassie did a website about
She did a website.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
wrote Morse code in the closing night thank you card to me, and I still don't know what your message says.
You can find Morse code translators. I don't.
I tried. I couldn't figure it out.
because the spaces might be...
Oh yeah, I'm not very good at printing.
Okay.
Probably something along the lines of I think it was something along the lines of I don't know what else to put here.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe
it was like...
yeah, like it was dots and dashes, and I was like, oh man,
I know, like,
I have to
some
work to
letters.
find out what she wrote.
Sometimes...
Yeah, because you told me that she was learning Morse code and she was teaching you Morse code, and I was like, this is different.
It stemmed back to me and Kristie message each other through Pinterest because
In Morse code.
not
You
entirely.
use Pinterest to message each other?
Yes.
It's not the messaging.
Well, it does
But that's
have
what
messaging
nobody would
back.
expect, Mr. Kung. That's why it's brilliant.
It's a messaging function
So
on Pinterest.
You put pins up to convey your message?
You send pins and you can also type.
Okay.
So, it all started when I was like, I'm gonna send Kristie some cryptic thing. And I was like, ooh, do you know what would make this even more cryptic? If I typed it out in Morse code.
And
Except
then
I
put spaces so I
yeah,
can
that's
understand.
gonna be a
It was something about... I don't remember what it was. All I
I think
remember...
there's a Hamilton reference.
Yeah,
in
all
there.
I remember was one line that was like Jefferson from France. That's all I remember from that. And then I just...
So are you still fluent in Morse code?
I can read it. I can't really listen to it unless I replay the same clip over and over because
Right.
I'm not really good at listening to it.
But like if I gave you a little... Like what do they call it, a key. If I gave you a Morse code key, you could transmit a message.
I think so.
Wow. I can't
Or if you're stuck in a container box, you could probably communicate
Or like
with
one of
the
those
outside world.
escape rooms or something.
yeah.
And you need Morse
Yeah,
code.
that's where it comes in handy.
Cassie's learning Morse code. I'm learning French on Duolingo.
I'm learning Duolingo too. I'm on my 201-day Duolingo streak.
I'm on my
my
401-day Duolingo streak.
Oh, wow. For French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, on some of the days I just, like, practice stuff again.
Yeah, she's more advanced than me because she has hers set to 50 XP per day.
Which
whereas,
is like 5 lessons per day, which is considered insane.
I have mine as casual because I'm scared that the moment I set it to insane, I'm going to leave it until last minute, and then I will have
And
to
then
do
you'll go insane.
I'll have to do like 5 lessons in like 5 minutes or something like that because I'll forget. I'm scared that's what's gonna happen.
So Duolingo is an app.
It's an app, or you can use it on, like, your computer or
And
something
do
like
you
that.
feel like it's improving your French language skills?
It helps me in
Yeah,
French.
it really helps if
understand.
you have like lessons on the side. So I'm doing French in school and I've signed up for French 9, and so it like Duolingo, you can't like learn an entire language fluently and be able to go to that country and speak it, I think,
There's
just
a lot
by
of
itself.
vocabulary.
Yeah,
and
French.
matching and like games like that where you
Yeah.
plug in words, right?
And it has this feature where you can speak or you can listen and
Oh, cool.
do
I
that.
always say I can't speak now, and that's why I'm not very good at speaking French.
It's because you can say, I can't speak right now, and I'll be like, okay, we'll turn that function on in an hour.
So even if I'm just sitting by myself and I can very well lean into the speaker and say, Je suis la pomme rouge, I just choose to hit can't speak right now.
I'm the red apple. That's what
What?
she said.
I said I am the
Okay.
red apple.
That's hilarious. So, on top of being in the play, on top of being background extras and a photo double for a network series, on top of having in the 3-digit streak on Duolingo, these two young ladies also keep a GPA above 95%.
I don't know how GPAs
Well,
work, but like...
I shouldn't say GPA because that's the incorrect. But like your average in your courses is above 95%. Is what I've been told.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, that's unbelievable.
You're very disciplined, it seems like.
Incredibly disciplined.
Like, if...
And you're eager to learn, it seems like.
yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is attitude. If you walk into a class expecting that it's going to go terribly and you're going to hate it,
You're not going to work really well.
Whereas if you go into a class thinking, I will do my best to understand this, then it helps because then you don't think, like, oh, I don't want to learn this. You actually pay attention, and then you pick everything up.
And despite whatever distractions or things that don't go well, you guys are very good at learning on your own.
Yeah, I mean, we help each other out. When I don't understand this math, I'll be like, Kassie, how do you do this? Or she'll come to me and she'll be like, Kristie, I don't understand this French. What does this mean? And we sort of help each other out in that way. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we'd be working if we had bad grades. Because I think
I want to clone them, but they're already clones of each other.
There might be others.
There could be others.
Yes.
But, I mean, part of it, like nowadays it's a lot easier to just pick up something like Duolingo. Or I want to learn Morse code. You can watch some videos, you can look online, you can find a translator.
She tried to learn sign language once.
Yeah, I didn't get very far. I don't remember too much.
Like ASL?
I think I did it for like a Genius Hour thing in like grade 7 or something, where we all had to pick something. Yeah, except I think it was less of building something and more of learning a new skill.
Right.
Kristie did knitting.
I can sort of knit now.
Oh, good.
I tried.
It's nice to do that.
Yeah, and I tried to learn ASL, except I tried to do this thing where it's like, oh, learn the basics in 30 days. Except to fill up the class time, I would have to go from lesson to lesson to lesson, so I wasn't remembering a lot of it.
Because if you just like power through them, like, I guess when you're younger, it's easier to learn languages. You can
absolutely.
You can still learn languages when you're older, but like right now, I'm only perfectly fluent in English.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you're older as well, there's just more things that you have to do and responsibilities and stuff like that. There's that.
You don't have time to dedicate.
But also, and you're older. Your brain is older. It's less malleable to some extent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I kind of wish I had learned Tagalog because my mom is fluent in, I think, two languages, and yet I only learned English because she didn't teach me Tagalog.
You're half Filipino?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And half, like, European, Norwegian
type thing.
Scandinavian, et cetera, et cetera.
My mom is from the Philippines. My dad was born in Canada, but both his parents were from Norway.
Wow.
But we can't speak Norwegian either.
Can your dad?
No.
I think he knows, like, some words, but...
He knows, like, one phrase, and that's it.
Have you been to Norway?
Not to Norway. We've been to the Philippines.
I want to go.
I heard that it's, like, really expensive there.
I don't know. I know. I was hear about it being really nice there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's a very happy country.
In terms of,
it's like rated one of the happiest countries in the world.
Yeah. Very good education system.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Technically, I think if we wanted to, we could go to college in like Norway for free.
Yeah.
Except we don't speak Norwegian, so unless we become fluent in Norwegian.
I think that's something you can Duolingo.
Yeah.
Over a weekend.
Over a weekend, more than just a weekend.
Yeah, a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But you've been to the Philippines. When did you go to the Philippines?
We were 4 years old. I don't remember much of it.
I remember hugging a baby goat. That was a really.
I don't remember much of it.
Memory.
We kind of went like. I think my parents were planning to take us when we were older, but we got there, and my mom was like, "I'll go say hi to your grandma." So I go inside, and oh, look, it's a coffin. Yep, we're here for my grandma's funeral.
Oh.
Yeah.
But us being 4 years old, we didn't really recognize that.
I didn't grasp the concept.
And had you ever met her?
She had come before.
She came to Canada before.
Yeah.
And we had a great time in the Philippines. I remember it being really hot. I remember eating a lot of ice cream. I just remember enjoying a lot of the food there.
Whereabouts in the Philippines? Like what city?
Loag City, I think.
Loag, I think. Yeah.
That's cool. Do you still have family there?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot. We had to make a family tree once, as part of a project, and my dad's side is like really sparse and like there's like I have two uncles, and then I have one aunt because one of them isn't married, and then I have like two cousins. But on my mom's side. On our mom's side, we have, like, a bunch of cousins, a bunch of aunts and uncles and stuff like that, and the tree was really lopsided.
Yeah, so my mom has two sisters, two brothers, we have a bunch of cousins. Some of those cousins have children who have had children who are married.
I think some of our cousins are married and have had children, and those children have married, but they haven't had kids yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's confusing.
Big family.
Yeah, I haven't met them all.
Yeah.
But we keep in contact and, like,
You do?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, good.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time you go, you have places to stay, and people can bring you around,
Yeah.
take you out for dinner, and wine and dine you.
Something like that.
Because I don't remember a whole lot. I thought when I was little, I was like, oh, that trip lasted so long. And then years later, I was like, hey, how long were we in the Philippines? Oh, we were there for a week, apparently. So
That's not that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remembered everything longer. I thought the plane ride was several days because we passed through different time zones and stuff.
I remember being on the
like that.
plane, and I was, like, a little scared because I think that was, like, my first time on the plane.
That was your first plane ride?
Yeah, and,
That's a
like,
long
my
plane
ears
ride.
popped, and I was like, Ugh.
That's
Yeah.
a massive plane ride.
I remember popping my ears. I remember really like it. I remember on that plane ride was my first exposure to the Alvin and the Chipmunks series, and that became my life obsession for like the next 3 years. I bought the second movie, then I watched the first movie, then I bought the third movie when it came out.
There was a fourth one, right?
Yeah, there was a fourth one, I think.
We watched the fourth one.
By then I had kind of fallen off of it, but for a while, Alvin and the Chipmunks was my absolute life.
Have you ever seen any of the like older animated Alvin and the Chipmunks?
There's a show.
Yeah, there was a television show.
I saw, like, clips of the television show.
Yeah, and then even before that, their very first Christmas special when they sang "Christmas, Christmas time is slow." It's like
That's pretty good.
oh, thank you. It's like Hanna-Barbera kind of style, like
Yeah.
2D, like Fred Flintstone Jetsons kind of style animation. It was very, very charming cartoon.
The Philippines is beautiful.
Have you been?
No,
Oh, well then how do you know?
because I saw on Instagram.
That's the only way to visit a country.
Well, Miss LeBrun went to the Philippines last summer,
Oh, cool.
and it was beautiful. Well, not summer, was it? Yeah, it was spring break.
Spring break.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful. Like she swam with a whale shark.
A whale shark.
I wouldn't want to
often
swim
you-
with a whale shark.
Well, they don't eat people.
Have you seen how big its mouth is?
They're huge. Yeah, they're huge.
Are those the ones where they're, like, sort of flat, but they have, like,
Yeah.
spots, like,
Yeah,
white spots?
yeah.
Oh, those ones. I saw that animal in, like, a Dora episode once.
Yeah.
A really big mouth and like filter feeders, right?
Yeah, filter feeders.
Yeah.
So they can't, like, eat you or anything.
Well, but what if,
By
you
accident.
what if you got sucked in there? Like,
Vacuum.
yeah.
She knows Morse code.
Just, like, tap on the inside.
Tap. Oh,
Moo calf.
Cassie's in there.
Whales don't have kneecaps.
I said that to Cassie yesterday. I was like, whales don't have knees or kneecaps. And that frightened me for a while.
Okay, let me throw it on this one for you.
What?
Talking about cetaceans. One of the things that makes a mammal is hair growth. But think about a whale. Does a whale have hair?
No, but
They do. When whales are born, whales, dolphins, and porpoises, when they're born, they have a little layer of fuzz, and that is their hair. What do you think? Like, isn't that weird to think about a hairy whale?
If mammals are hairy and they produce milk, do coconuts count as mammals?
I don't think
There are so many gray areas. Like, I often thought, well, if dinosaurs are reptiles, then what is a rhinoceros? And then it's like, no, it's rhinoceros. I'm like, no, it's a rhinoceros. Look at it. It looks like a dinosaur.
Rhinoceros.
It's a nose lizard.
It's a nose lizard.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Literally.
But you look at a rhinoceros, and you think that could be a dinosaur. But it's not. A dinosaur is
It's
a
like an
reptile.
ancestor.
Yeah, and a rhinoceros is a mammal. But that's the one that... And then platypus lays eggs.
nature is weird because somehow horses with huge horns don't exist, but weird beaver, duck, mammal, egg-laying hybrid things exist.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
nature is messy. Then you have animals that are ovoviviparous, which means that
I don't even...
which means that they don't have live birth, but the egg hatches internally. So sharks, for example, when a shark gives birth, it's not like a shark lays eggs like another fish. The egg hatches internally, and then the baby shark comes out. And it's like, well, that kind of looks like live birth, and it kind of looks like mammalian birth, but it's not. They call it ovoviviparous. Snakes are like that, too. A lot of snakes are ovoviviparous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of diversity. It's just we try to categorize things as best as we can
absolutely.
in order to make sense of it.
Well, that's just it. We're always trying to make sense of it. We like rules, but nature doesn't have rules. Right?
Yeah.
Like, nature does what nature does.
With dinosaurs, I read a post online that's like, since hair decomposes, we don't know if dinosaurs could have had hair. They could have had, like, really long hair.
Oh, for sure.
We wouldn't have known.
Can you imagine, like, T-Rex with a mullet? Just rocking out.
That could have existed.
With a beard and sideburns.
Yo, dude. If you're happy and you know it, clap. Oh, T-Rex. Poor T-Rex.
Poor T-Rex.
Yeah.
With the short little arms.
Yeah.
That's why T-Rexes couldn't style their hair.
Yeah.
They can't reach their head.
Hey, T-Rex, why did your hair
Yet
suck?
somehow it got a mullet.
Yeah. Well, other T-Rexes could probably cut T-Rex hair.
Mullets are not natural.
There's a guy in my building that has a mullet.
That's not natural.
He doesn't speak English. I don't know
what does that have to do with it?
Well, maybe it's in fashion where he's from.
Which is?
I don't know. It's I would guess a Scandinavian country. I haven't been able to peg the language yet.
There's a whole country with mullets?
I don't know, but like he's a guy with a mullet that is speaking a language that I can't. Like, if it was German, I can hear German. I can be like, okay, I don't understand it, but I can hear that that's German. He speaks a language that I haven't been able to identify.
Huh.
And I'm not particularly familiar with Swedish or Norwegian or Finnish
So
or
there's
Danish.
just
Like,
a random guy with a mullet who speaks a random language.
and
That's not random.
Wife and two kids
From a mullet country.
Yeah, yeah. They're all four of them are blonde.
And they all have mullets?
No, just the dad. Yeah, just the dad.
Well, the theory's not correct.
I call him Mullet Man, and he doesn't know that.
That's the spoiler alert. That's the guy who's gonna defeat Thanos in Endgame.
Yeah. Well, spoilers.
I don't know any of it. I haven't watched it, but also I've watched only 2 movies from the whole cinematic universe because I haven't gotten into it because then if someone tells me a spoiler, I don't know what it means. I don't register it. I'm immune to spoilers.
What about Game of Thrones?
I don't know any of that either.
Yeah, me neither. You watch Game of Thrones?
No, but I was talking to Mr. Sally this morning about it, based on what I know, which is a series of YouTube videos that kind of summarized it for me.
Yeah.
But, no, it seems interesting, very rich.
I exist in the 1%
story.
of the world that has never, ever seen an episode. And apparently, within that 1% is all of my Facebook friends. And then someone posted the other day, sorry your dragon show didn't end well, but stop talking about it.
All I know is that, like, there's like this blonde girl, I think, and she has like
weird avocado-like dragons.
Yeah,
or
I saw a
something.
meme where it's like when you find the perfect avocado at the supermarket, and she's holding the dragon egg because apparently it looks just like an avocado.
Weird chairs.
A Starbucks cup?
Yeah, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Not comfortable chairs either.
They look cool though.
Yeah, but I don't think they're very comfortable, the throne.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sit on one of those thrones.
It looks like
It's made out of swords.
It's made out of swords. I cut myself.
like I just
Plus
want a really comfy chair, and that would be my throne.
That's a good idea.
A beanbag chair. That would be my throne.
Yeah. So, have you seen Endgame?
No.
Are you into the Marvel thing? No.
I
I
watched the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I watched Age of Ultron. I didn't really understand anything except there's like 2 weird stones, I think.
The Infinity Stones.
Yes, there's memes online.
Yeah, I know some stuff about what happens in Infinity War just because everyone made all these memes about it. And I've seen new meme formats pop up, but I have no idea what the context is behind them.
You guys are really into memes? Seems like
They
your
appear,
age, everybody's
they
into
appear
that.
on Reddit and on Pinterest. So I guess, but they're different from 2010.
Grumpy Cat died on Minecraft's 10th anniversary.
What an odd connection to make.
Yeah, because everyone was like waking up and they're like, okay, we're gonna go. Because on Reddit, all I saw was people were like, okay, so for like the past few weeks, people were like, okay, so on Minecraft's 10th anniversary,
we're gonna celebrate.
We will post nothing but Minecraft memes to celebrate this amazing game. And then I wake up, I go to my computer, I'm like, oh, here's Minecraft memes, and then I get there and people are like, petition to change the r/memes picture to Grumpy Cat because Grumpy Cat died.
I was surprised when I saw all of the announcements that Grumpy Cat had died, because I actually thought Grumpy Cat died last year.
Oh.
Something in my memory was like...
No, that was...
Who is Grumpy Cat?
Okay, so there was...
You've never seen Grumpy Cat?
It's like a really frowny,
cat.
like, Siamese cat or something.
Dude.
Okay. Q2013, we have this cat that has a weird, like, facial disorder, I think.
Okay.
That this cat,
No,
she
I've seen
can't...
the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
Just
going to bring up Grumpy Cat.
She looks eternally grumpy. And so there was
Her name's tartar sauce.
There was a picture of who posted. People were like, okay, this cat looks grumpy. Let's make a meme. So we have the old memes with the impact font that say things like,
When you have to go to school, etc., etc.
or like, people hate school? Good. and things like that.
Okay.
Captions like that. I
see.
think...
But they turned it into like a whole. There's like a Grumpy Cat movie, and then there was like a Grumpy Cat book series, like novels about Grumpy Cat.
but-
Like it became this huge cultural phenomenon just because someone's cat looked angry.
Wasn't there like the dog who died last year?
Gabe the dog.
Gabe the dog.
Gabe the dog. Gabe the dog had such an unusual bark. People would auto-tune his bark, so you end up with the original barking, and you find stuff like, Indiana Jones, but borked, and things like
they
that.
call it a bork, and they like auto-tune the borks
I
to
haven't seen
different
this.
notes.
Yes, the last time I was like super up to date with like what was happening in the meme world was the screaming goats.
Oh.
Screaming goat.
Oh, you ever see? Okay,
I think I've
I
seen
know the
that.
sleeping goats.
no, goats that scream like humans. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw
They
that
got these
one.
goats. And they go, ah! Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No,
Ah! Ah! Like that's what they sound like. They just sound like goat. Like ah! Are you okay, buddy? Ah! And that's just the goat.
now they have like deep fried memes and all these.
What's a deep fried meat?
A deep fried meme is like when
The contrast is really tuned up. There's filters that make everything like really weird, and it's
like I think like a fisheye filter where
So-
it like pulls the image at one.
yeah, and so you have things like, what a beautiful picture of a bush, and then someone puts, wow, I can't believe they made the thing from Fortnite a real thing.
What
they,
is
like,
happening to
flare-
the world, Mr. Kung?
But I'm just wondering right now, like, how do you like
keep up?
I challenge you to come up with a meme that spreads around the world.
A
Like,
viral meme.
How
That's
difficult would that be?
Corn!
That's
Corn!
cool. We have a little
That's
thing.
not an existing one.
No, but we have a little thing in our friend group right now, and people in theater were like, there's this 42-second video called the corn video. It's just
yes.
labeled corn.
So there's this guy in a corn costume, and it starts, you've got the background with the weird watermarks that haven't been bothered to be removed. This guy comes up in this poorly made corn costume, and he goes, from the earth I rise, and to the earth I will one day return.
What's up, mother shuckers?
My name is Colonel Cornelius Cornwall, and I'm here to introduce you to
Corn! And then he just goes on and on about corn. And
corn.
then
Is
they
a
have
North American cereal plant that often yields large kernels on a cob. It is also called a maize because it's easy to get lost in its incredible flavor.
What is it? Like,
Side effects of corn may include choking, I guess.
And then they have a little chant at the end that we chanted on
Yeah.
closing night.
So we just gathered a bunch of people.
Wait,
in
you wrote this?
No.
Diane
just-
found it on the
They
internet.
just memorized it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's already there.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
come down today and dry some corn, or we will sacrifice your newborn. And that's how it ends. And like the screen turns red. I love it.
It's a work of art. In the descriptions, it's like there's different things like comedy, gaming. This one is tagged education.
Well, I mean, they're talking about a cereal plant in North America.
Maize, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good video.
Cool.
It's my favorite existing
But
YouTube
I
video.
challenge you to make one, like, totally
Original.
original.
Yeah.
Like, because I wonder how do you do one to make, how do you make it good enough that people will just spread it around.
Spread it on the
Share it.
internet. Share it.
Because some of them are
popular.
pretty bad.
Yeah,
Some
so
of them
Some people
pretty-
will try to make like already existing meme
That's
formats
true.
into memes. There was the Drake meme that still hasn't died,
Yeah.
like
The Drake format.
no yes type thing where it's like something like $110. Or no, it's like $100. $10 shipping, $110 free shipping,
And it's
type
something
thing.
like that.
Hey, look, there goes Chahat on her cell phone. She skipped my drama class today.
T.
Shahat, if you're listening,
Yeah, you skipped my drama class, and I see you walking down the street, and everybody told me that you went home at lunch because you were feeling sick, and you don't look sick out the window.
maybe she's
If
sick
she
right
listens to the podcast.
Yeah. Chahat, I'm on to you. We will find you out.
We will
now. Before
find
you went on your personal journey there, what were we talking about? We're talking about memes?
Creating a meme.
Yeah.
So people will try to create memes off of already existing meme
memes.
formats.
But how do
Yeah.
you start like, how do we create the
Threads.
next grumpy cat?
Do you guys have any pets?
We have like 3 fish. Their names are Rubber Band, Umbrella the Second, and Murder.
As in, like, not like murder killing, as in, like, a murder of crows.
crows.
A group
Like-
of crows is called a murder of
Because,
crows.
like, the fish is, like, really...
Rubber Band and Umbrella the Second are really brightly colored and stuff.
Umbrella the Second.
Oh, yes, it's
Was there
because...
another one?
Yes,
Yes.
Umbrella the First.
Umbrella the First died, and so we named
Obviously.
Umbrella the Second.
Okay, so if a group of crows is called a murder, what do you call a group of ravens? It is, in fact, my favorite grouping of animals.
I don't know.
A group of ravens is called an unkindness.
And unkindness.
That is an unkindness of ravens.
What is it with birds having, like...
You know what a group of owls is? A parliament.
Parliament.
It is a parliament of owls.
Why do they have...
What's next? A group of dogs is just going to be called a cheerful.
A cheerful of dogs. That's
A
nice.
cheerful of dogs.
Well, you have a raft of otters. You have a school of fish.
I read somewhere that, like...
A pod of whales.
Isn't, like, a group of bunnies, like, a fluffle or something?
Fluffle.
I don't know.
I thought it was something like that.
Is fluffle a word?
I don't know.
It's possible
Now it
it's
is.
just made up.
Now it is.
A gaggle of geese.
That's where you start your meme.
And-
Fluffle.
And people are just, like, named a group of people, and it's not interesting.
Group of people is trouble waiting to happen.
It is.
Yeah, I saw a post on the internet. It says, "Why are elephants more evolved than us? They have a special sound that says there are bees here. Let's leave immediately."
And then the
why
other person, like,
it's like, why aren't humans that advanced? And someone said, "We do have a sound. It sounds like this."
there are bees here. Let's leave them. Yeah. I think Cassie was stung by a bee once.
Oh yeah, I was in grade 3. I was at this barbecue thing. It was like a really big gathering of people.
There
for
was
this
a bee
barbecue.
near my food, so I took my slipper and I, like,
Killed it.
killed it.
And
but it
but
wasn't
not
really
really.
dead because Cassie was like, I wonder what a dead bee feels
I was like, this is a learning
Oh
experience.
my
I was in grade
Oh, it was a
3.
learning
I was in grade 3. So I go to touch it, and I just see it dangling off my finger. It hurts so much. And
So it was dead already.
With its dying breath, it got its revenge.
Or did you just put your finger on the
Stinger.
No, I just went to, like...
Bees won't sting you unless you threaten them.
Yeah.
And I think me almost
Swatting it
killing
with your slipper,
I
yeah.
think that was threatening it.
So it was clearly still alive, and you put your finger there, and it turned around. And...
I thought it was dead. It wasn't moving.
Is that the only time you've been stung by a bee?
I got stung, I think, once when I was really little. I have no memory of it. I think I got stung, like, somewhere on my face.
Have you ever been stung by a bee?
Not that I can remember. Maybe I was stung when I was little, but I can't remember.
You haven't experienced life. A bee sting is like
I've never been.
Do you know
stung by
what's a
bee.
good movie with bees?
the bee movie. Thanks, Jerry Seinfeld.
According to all known laws of aviation, there was no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings were too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible.
Yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, black, and yellow. Let's shake it up a little. Berry breakfast is ready.
Coming.
I heard that was a horrible movie. Now I have to see it.
It's like meme-worthy because it's got a lot of like little like.
Because it's a horrible movie.
I didn't know because it's like I thought. Okay, I watched it when there's a bunch of movies.
The first time I watched it, I was in IKEA. I think I was like 6 years old. They have that little movie station.
ballroom?
I sit down. I go to watch it. I have to leave about halfway through the tour through the Hunnix Industries thing, and that stayed in my mind forever. And then I find it, and I remembered everything exactly as it went.
Oh, wow.
It's so unexpected because you expect the whole movie to be some cheesy kids show plot, but then it turns to weird court cases and stuff. I saw
the human race.
What?
Like, I don't understand how Jerry Seinfeld got to this plot because I watched it when I was older. Because I didn't remember it from when I was little, and I was like, oh, this is just Barry finding his way home. And then he finds his way back home, and he starts suing the human race, and I'm like, what?
I saw a video of someone, like, analyzing the
A lawyer
They're like, okay, this doesn't make sense, because you can't sue the human race, because that's not an identifiable group of people or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it just...
A lawyer analyzed it. He got a degree and everything just so he could
Imagine
analyze
sitting
it.
down and going, okay, we need to make ad revenue. Let's go with this. How about I'm going to analyze the B movies live.
And this is how I make my living.
There's lots of interesting stuff out there.
There is.
That's why, we call it, well, lots of people call it falling into the rabbit hole and just never...
love the rabbit hole.
Never coming back. But I mean, you can get into memes and stuff like that, but sometimes it's like I'm researching one thing and then all of a sudden I'm researching like 10 things and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I feel tired. Oh, it's very late. Right? It's so easy to do that nowadays.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the problem for me personally is that when I start doing that, my mind races, and then I don't get tired. Mm-hmm. On Monday night, the last night of the long weekend, I couldn't get to sleep until 2:30. Mm-hmm. I went to bed at 1, which is way too late for me to be going to bed, and I lay there for 90 minutes before I could fall asleep.
Do you guys have a regular sleep schedule?
Me and Cassie have, we stay up late most of the time. Like, our summer sleep schedule, Cassie don't say it, but it was really bad.
As in, I can officially say that I have woken up at 6 o'clock during the school year, and I have gone to bed at 6 o'clock a.m. in the summer.
Oh.
That was a really bad day. That was the worst day.
Why?
During...
So weird. We would
fan
get
fictions and other things, and, we didn't have any limits or nowhere to go, so we're like, let's just stay
Pull an
up.
all-nighter.
We haven't pulled an all-nighter
No,
yet.
I think I am prepared to pull one if I need to, but I don't really want to do
to.
that.
Don't do it until university.
Yeah.
I've only done it maybe once. I've done it once in university, and it was not pretty.
No,
I had to do a presentation the next day, and I was like puking out of the car when my friend was driving because I had no sleep and I had no breakfast, and it was a bad situation.
I've done it about 4 or 5 times, and the brain does weird things when it's sleep deprived. I had a project due, and got to class, handed in the project, and my plan was to then sleep through that class. I was like, you know what? When the project's done, whatever he's going to be talking about at the lecture is not as important as me sleeping. But I remember being very angry. Like, I sat down, so I pulled out a piece of paper. I'm like, I need to draw. I need to draw my anger. And I'm not a person who draws. I started drawing, and you know that meme with that kid with the crayons?
Yeah.
Well, that was me. And I drew, and again, I'm a terrible drawer, but I drew this, bunny rabbit that had wheels instead of feet, and he was very angry too. And then I gave it to my friend. I said, "Angry bunny has wheels." And then I walked away, and he's like, "Dude, you need sleep."
I wish I could, draw really good stuff out of my sleep deprivation.
But it wasn't even a very good drawing. I cannot draw to save my life. It was just this.
A bunny on wheels.
Yeah, angry bunny has wheels. That could be a meme.
That's the next meme.
Angry bunny has wheels.
How do we incorporate that?
Yeah.
We need
Fluffles.
a drawing of that, and then that'll be the meme.
You need a fluffle.
You know, a fluffle of rabbits.
The easiest
On
way to
wheels.
find a good meme is to do stuff that you think you would film to put in a Vine, while Vine was still a thing. Because you see all these iconic Vines, and then you realize how, simple they are. Like, what do you think about the weather? How does it go?
It's like, when you like to know, Weather Boy, or
Oh, I heard about Weather Boy.
Or today, somebody in my Kahoot class named themselves Road Work Ahead. Because
it's
road work ahead.
It's this guy driving in a car. He sees the sign and it says road work ahead. He goes, road work ahead? Yeah, I sure hope it does.
And that's like the whole thing. That's just the whole video. And it's gotten like, everybody knows these classic vines. And it's just like, yeah.
Classic vines. Vines, like, what does it take for something to become classic?
If you can find it in a Vine compilation without
Vine was dead.
It is,
yeah,
but
it did.
people miss it.
Yeah, so...
I thought it was like TikTok now.
Well, like, TikTok
what's
is
TikTok?
like...
What's a Vine?
Okay, so Musically and Vine are two
You're
similar
so
sites.
way behind.
Okay,
Turpin.
so a Vine is...
Don't even know how to
Come on,
floss.
Vines?
Vine is like an app where you can film really like short, like maybe 6-second videos.
Yeah.
And the really popular ones are like out of context and they're hilarious for
yeah.
some
The best ones are
reason.
nonsensical. That's how it works.
Like, there's one, and there's this lady walking by angrily, and she's, like, talking on the phone. She's like, and they were roommates. And then the guy turns the camera around.
It's like, and they were roommates.
Is that where Burger King foot lettuce came from?
I don't
Is that a Vine?
I don't think that was. I think it became a Vine for a little, or, like, just a saying of, the last thing you want in your Burger King foot lettuce.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, okay, so there was Vine. Vine was canceled. They got Musically, which is like you lip sync to songs.
Oh, I heard about this
and
one.
people have gotten famous off of Musically just
lot
by,
of
like,
it-
lip syncing stuff and, like,
Some of it
looking
was
pretty.
good and some of it was bad, and then they rebooted Musically into TikTok. And TikTok has like a bunch of
It's like there's the people you still
TikTok
find.
came from music, then?
yeah, technically they're owned by the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So like I like
And then
to think-
Musically is now TikTok. Musically no longer exists, I think.
I like to think of like TikTok is like the child of Vine and Musically, and it's just like
Yeah, so you have the
combination.
people there who are lip syncing and the people who like do really weird things like flipping vans into a river and putting colorful filters over it and calling it and putting it in slow-mo, and it's called an aesthetic. Like when a certain number of things come together and they're totally unrelated but come together in a sort of aesthetic.
I think I figured it out. To make a meme,
Yeah.
you take something that's completely nonsensical, not really even funny,
Yeah.
and then you just put it out there, and people will go, "Wow!"
Or like, or movie lines can sometimes work. Like, there's one movie line that just, well, yes, but actually no. And people have revised this. I went on, Minecraft's birthday / Grumpy Cat's death day, and I find this thing and it says, so what was Reddit supposed to do? And it says, well, and instead of saying yes, it says Minecraft's birthday, but actually, and then a picture of Grumpy Cat, so it's like,
Wow.
yeah, so they just revised.
But like
them
some
really.
TikTok things are like hiding little pictures of Shrek around my house until somebody notices, or hiding something around my school until my school notices, and stuff like that.
What about this lady?
Cheese lady?
I haven't seen.
Lady eating a block of cheese?
Why?
I'm out of my league.
The best, though, is that when you see what she's purchased.
About Jesus.
Yeah, it's a great... For those of you listening at home, this is a photograph of a woman eating a brick of cheddar cheese like a chocolate bar. Just
I do love
mowing
cheese.
it. Yeah.
That
I like it melted, though.
But do you like cheese that much?
Not that much, no.
But then if we took this photograph of this woman eating cheese, and then...
Maybe turn it into a deep
that's already a
roasted,
thing.
But-
deep fried meme, and like
You can't
it's
just
like
take another meme.
But this is there's no text. What makes a meme?
no, but like I could
Yeah, you can revise that. For example, you could have something like, my brain, okay, time to get time to get my homework done, my brain.
and then it shows like that lady eating cheese, and you put the contrast up, and you flare it up, and you have this text that goes.
Okay,
cheese.
so there's our challenge to you.
What about a picture of my daughter driving a Little Tykes car?
You don't want your daughter.
No, I don't want my daughter.
She's gonna sue you one day.
My daughter, however, also likes cheese.
Uh-huh.
We could do something with that.
Jeez, that's Delview's slogan
You
now.
guys seem to be able to like retain a lot in your brains. Like, I like what surprises me about actors is like the ability to remember lines. Like, I mean, for your musical, like Abel stepped in last minute, and then that was the show I saw, and I was like, oh, how's she gonna remember how to like do all this stuff?
She did a really good job.
Yeah. And I watched it, and afterwards I was like, wow.
Of course, there's like the monkey tail thing, but like
the monkey tail added comedy, and I
was...
appreciated that actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you listen to something enough, you
if you
know
drill
it
in your head, you'll get it stuck in your head.
I was part of Shrek the Musical. I had never watched Shrek the Musical before that.
Had you seen Shrek before?
Yes,
of course, yes.
Yes, who hasn't seen Shrek? Shrek is iconic. All the Shrek music.
We're waiting on Shrek
musical
5.
except for Shrek Forever After. I don't like it. I think it should be kicked out of canon, but apparently a Shrek 5 is coming out, which means that Shrek Forever After is canon, which is so weird because it's like
it's this whole dream sequence.
Yeah, it's basically Shrek 1 through 3 progresses the plot in a sense that we have Shrek, okay, then he gets married, then he has children, then he has to find out a way to not have responsibilities in the third one. It's kind of complicated. So, Shrek Forever After, though, is basically Shrek having a midlife crisis, making a deal with Rumpelstiltskin to have one day where he can be free, except he has to give away one day of his life. Like, not like lifespan, a day that has already gone by.
Shreks
and so he gives up his birthday. So he gives up his birthday so he doesn't exist anymore, and it's all about him trying to find a way to break this contract he made, and it's...
Sometimes I think it's just time to let it go.
It's time to have it die, yeah.
Like, we don't... Well, it's like Toy Story. I really, really love Toy Story. And the way the third one ended was, like, in my opinion, the perfect ending to a trilogy.
But sometimes, like,
it's true.
Add-ons can be really bad.
And now we're having a fourth one. And while I am looking...
A
spork, right? And now, while I am looking forward to seeing the fourth Toy Story, I'm not so sure.
But there's a spork.
If you don't like it, you can always just count it off as not canon. You can write a fan fiction with a better ending.
That's true. That's a very positive way of thinking about it.
Fanfictions heal a lot of
because a lot of fanfictions are bad.
Do you write?
I attempted to. But you can find some that are really nice and expand upon plots. Like, there was this show I'm into. It's a kid's show. It's called Miraculous Ladybug. It's like, it's made...
You wrote fan fiction for Miraculous Ladybug?
Yes. Okay, the target demographic is like 8-year-olds. But we have...
The whole fan base is, like, adults.
It's like people who are analyzing it like, okay, the moral in this episode is terrible because we got no plot progression. This one character is getting blamed for things she didn't do. This one character isn't getting blamed for things he did do that he should be. Some people are analyzing design. Some people are deciding to rewrite the entire second and third season because they didn't like it. I just like to watch the show because I think it's fun.
It's like Paw Patrol. There's nothing educational in Paw Patrol, so my wife and I are like, why are we going to let our daughter watch this? We don't. But kids love Paw Patrol.
Get her to watch Dora, but not like the reboot. The reboot was like
she's like what is she, a teenager now or something?
Apparently she's a teenager, and it used to take a whole episode for her to get to the top of tallest mountain, but now she has a weird charm bracelet thing that she just like tosses a charm in the air and a magical eagle carries her up there in like 2 seconds.
What if that's a metaphor or something for technology?
Yeah.
You know what's weird? When I was watching Dora, and I did watch Dora because I have kids, not because I watched it alone, but when I watched Dora...
Mr. Kung secretly watches Dora by himself.
That's his guilty pleasure.
Diego, yes. But there's these parts where she starts saying, you know, can you say blah, 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 right? Can you say map? Yeah. And I'm just wondering to myself, what if the kid says it wrong? And then, like, forever, for the rest of their lives...
Yeah, because the character will, like, wait a second, and then say, good job.
Good job. And
there's
like, a reinforcement.
Yeah, you give it
for
positive reinforcement.
You did wrong.
Yeah.
I wondered that when I was little. I was like, what if someone's watching, like, something, and someone says, okay, should we take this really unsafe bridge, or should we take the much safer bridge?
Unsafe bridge. Unsafe bridge.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, that's what we do. And then this kid is going to live their whole life thinking, or something like math, like, oh,
is the answer to 50 plus 50 100 or 0? And if the kid answers 0, then they're going to spend their whole life thinking that 50 plus 50 is 0.
You know what show's terrible for that is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood.
Really? It does that too?
He talks to the kids all the time and like gives them a chance to answer. And I'm just like, oh, this is terrible. Because you're
Mr.
reinforcing.
Rogers never did that.
No, I know. So why does Daniel Tiger... Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood is meant to be the spin-off of Mr. Rogers. But like, yeah, it's brutal. Sesame Street's where it's
What
at.
did you guys grow up with?
We're like too young to like
relate
remember
with
the older shows. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember Hannah Montana.
I sort of remember that, just like a blur. There's a bunch of stuff that happened where there's movies I watched and TV shows that I watched when I was little.
A lot of the
that
stuff
are, like,
I
a
watched
blur.
came out like the year
But old
I was
stuff
born.
sometimes, gets
Yeah, like sometimes
revamped
I
or
can relate.
they come back.
Sometimes I can relate with the old stuff, but sometimes I can't.
It's like I'm too young to relate to the Fortnite generation.
No, you're too
Old
old
to relate to the
old.
Fortnite generation, but I'm too young to relate to the people who were around when Minecraft came out in 2009 and stuff.
Wait,
because
What year were you two born?
2005.
but we were only 4 years old, and
Right.
yeah.
2005.
For Minecraft?
Minecraft came out in 2009.
Yeah,
but we were 4 years old.
I really like the concept of Minecraft, but I have never played it outside of, I have a friend who had Minecraft Pocket Edition, and I played it like once or twice, and that's the only Minecraft exposure
The first time I
have.
saw Minecraft, I was frustrated because when I was a kid, we played with Lego.
Ooh, Lego.
And Lego was like actually using motor skills to physically manipulate the bricks that kids were doing in Minecraft. But the other thing that bothered me about Minecraft, and you gotta know that
It's such low quality.
I'm a vintage video game fan, but this is like purposely 8-bit graphics. so then I was like, I used to tell people all the time, I was like, man, when I was a kid, we used to play with Lego. And then Lego signed a deal with Minecraft, so now you can actually buy Minecraft Lego. But Lego also has their own line of video games, so I'm just waiting for there to become a Lego Minecraft video game.
You can probably get that because Minecraft is very evolved in a sense that there's the casual players and then there's the people who are like, okay, we're gonna you can find fully programmable, the video game Undertale. Someone made a Minecraft version you can play that is fully programmable and everything, where you can hit stuff and it will activate stuff, because redstone is a thing in Minecraft too, and there's all this stuff, like, you go into a Minecraft redstone tutorial and it's like, okay, so you need to put this activator here and this redstone torch here, and by doing this you're allowing the signal to carry or something like that.
Make electrical circuits.
What?
And power stuff.
What?
Minecraft.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty cool things built in Minecraft.
Yeah,
Like,
apparently there are.
Yeah.
one of the ones I saw was like a mechanical calculator. And you would step on different
Oh,
keys.
there'd be like different pistons
Yeah.
that would calculate it.
And then it would like move different
Who has
gears.
the time?
Yeah, but it's amazing.
It is amazing, but who has the time?
Yeah.
Oh, teacher, I'm going on my phone. Oh, but you're not allowed. You have to.
If you
you're
have
not
the
allowed
time to do that in Minecraft, couldn't you develop something in the real world that has some real world benefit?
I don't know, create teleportation or
Sure.
something
It's
like
like-
Well,
that.
you could also build that in the real world, but I mean, they actually built it.
Yeah, okay.
It's no different that way.
It's like, I remember when Guitar Hero came out. Do you know the video game Guitar Hero? You're probably too young.
I think this is the third time in the podcast that Guitar Hero has been referenced by you.
Really?
And you
Yes.
would know because you've binge listened to almost all of them.
I'm at the beginning, so unless you mentioned it between episode
Didn't you
27
mention it,
and
Stella's.
Oh
I
my
probably
gosh.
mentioned it all the time because
something
this is
about
like-
millennials.
Yeah, it's like if you spent as much time playing a real musical instrument as you devoted to
You're
playing
right, I
Guitar
remember
Hero,
that. Yeah.
we'd have some great musicians in this world. I have said that because I,
I
say it all
remember
the time.
listening to that.
Yeah.
At the same time, guitar. I think I said that. I think this was my counter argument as well. At the same
We're
time,
having the same conversation.
And Cassie's noticing it because she's just listened to it 27 episodes.
Because you probably don't notice it or something if you listen to it when the episodes come out or something. This sounds kind of familiar, but it must have been...
Okay, tell me, what was your counter argument? Because I don't remember.
Well, it's just that it's inspired people to get into music.
Really?
Right? Because it's so easy, and they're like, wow, this feels... It's the feeling of performing is what it is. Just like drama. It's like if you've never been on a stage and you go on the stage and then you become addicted to that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, but...
That moment where you...
But there's no video game for drama. It's like, it's a video game where you stand in front of the screen and it gives you little cue lines and then the digital people clap for you.
So it's me.
Well, so
It's me.
It's digital drama. You know what? There we go. There's our new video game. We'll call it digital drama, and it'll just be a screen with an audience that watches you, and then you can perform, and they clap for you.
Just like pictures of your family members and stuff like that.
There you
people
go.
you don't. Oh no.
what would that be like? What is it like for you guys when you're on the stage and there's like the lights, and do you see the audience? Do you stare at anybody?
You do
See the audience sometimes. Like last year at Trek, the lights were on the stage, so it shined up into your eyes, and you couldn't see anybody. It was just pitch black, and that I don't know.
It's so weird. And then, but it doesn't quite get you can pick out individual faces in the drama studio though, because
because it's intimate.
I can see
it's very
that feature
close.
or my friend there, or something like that.
Yeah, you guys were dancing right up to my seat, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted.
Close,
That's why I like
spitting distance.
Yeah, that's why I like that space because you have to learn how to perform in that intimate environment.
Yeah.
If you can perform there, you can perform anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure not to kick somebody
Yeah.
in the face, unless they're on their cell phone, because then you have
Did that happen?
No, I don't think so.
What makes me very happy is that the line, it's like a cell phone going off in a theater in the Drowsy Chaperone. Chances are, at one point, someone's phone actually did ring in the theater before that line was delivered. So it was perfect, and it brings joy to my heart knowing that at some point, someone's phone might have gone off, right around that time. And then
they wrote it in?
Yeah, that could be.
Or it would just be perfect comedic timing where somebody's phone starts ringing and blaring, and then it's like a cell phone going off in a theater, and they think.
That's why I don't go to movies anymore. I just went to Detective Pikachu with my kids.
That's too bad.
It was.
I'm kidding. Wow, that look. That's too bad.
You look so hurt.
You were so hurt.
No, I liked it.
I was kidding.
Detective Pikachu's becoming a meme too, because there's the surprise Pikachu meme.
Yes, I've seen him.
And now they have the reboot Pikachu now.
So how was the movie?
Well, I look around and there's people on they're texting during the movie.
People don't have patience these days.
What is going on? Well, you paid so much money to be here. Why aren't you even watching it?
Yeah, and then they're writing on their InstaChat or their Snapgram. They're writing.
It upsets me.
They're writing, I'm at the movie theater right now.
That's why
I'd
rather.
But you're not watching the movie, so what's the point?
I'd rather stay home than have to. I just don't like people.
That's why I refuse to go and see a movie on opening weekend. I will dodge the spoiler alerts, but if there's a movie I really want to see, I'm not seeing it on opening weekend in a full theater.
With screaming children, crying in the corner,
stressful.
somebody's kicking your chair, and there's popcorn being thrown.
Yeah.
I went when the film
and there's half an hour worth of ads or more.
Yeah, when the film version of Sweeney Todd came out with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, I went and saw that by myself. I'm pretty sure I was the only one there. I had a whole big theater to myself. It was lovely.
Yeah.
I could laugh. I could clap at the end of the songs because that's what you do in a real musical. I was loving it.
Speaking of shows, how many have you guys been in?
Stage shows.
You've worked since you were 6, you said. You did, extra work.
Yeah, I've worked way more than Kristie has because I did so much photo doubling that I didn't have a full, uninterrupted week of school until the week before
but we split the money, so
thing ended.
But
I wasn't working the whole week sometimes. Sometimes it was just
I need to sleep.
You double for other people?
Yeah.
No, just for that one character.
Yeah, it's because she's the title character and she's in every single episode.
But you've done other photo doubling.
I did
Like
it,
one day things.
one day things
Oh,
where
okay.
the posting couldn't come in. I think I did it once for like Supernatural. That was kind of lame. They're just like, okay, sit on this bed while we line up this shot, and they're like, okay, you have to leave now. And I was like, okay.
Have you done shows with lines?
I have not spoken a line in a show.
I want to.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to get auditions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully... I mean, it's different from live theater because you can't make mistakes.
Yeah,
Right.
But
like it seems so much easier in like the filming of it, because like in theater, like I always thought about it like, oh, you're just performing for an audience, but then I realized that you're doing that every single night. Whereas if there's like this one tough scene you have to do in a movie, you just have to do it once.
one and done, and that's it.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might be doing it like take 72.
Yeah, but you only have to do it that one night or that one section of filming. Whereas, like if you're in a Dear Evan Hansen, you have to go through that character's journey
Again,
8 shows a
again.
week,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because that's what the professionals do. If you're in
Yeah,
Hamilton,
that's kind of
you have to go through the character's journey 8 shows a week.
right.
And you can't, like, dull down your performance
No,
because
exactly.
like, they're paying for the tickets.
Exactly, and
Well, I
like
guess in a way it's easier to get into character than we're just filming this snippet.
Yeah.
Where you have to you're crying because this happened and you have
And it's
to
done.
instantly
Yeah.
snap into it and snap out of it, and now you're filming some
Yeah.
other part of it.
It also amazes me because the people I work with a lot of other kids. I'm like the most reoccurring photo double there because a lot of sometimes.
So she's there.
Like the kids are there almost like the rest of the people. They're like there almost every time because they actually don't go to a public school. They go to school on set.
They get
and
tutored.
that is where their school is. So they're there most of the time.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the photo doubles and stuff, they're not needed that often. So I go there and it's
She does her
weird.
homework there.
Yeah. And it's weird because, like, a lot of them are from America, too. I found out that a lot of brands don't exist in America, but do exist in Canada that I just thought were always Canadian.
Like what?
Oh, I thought they were, like, both. Coffee Crisp. I thought that was in America. Apparently it's only in Canada.
One of them had the nerve to say that Dunkin' Donuts was better than Tim Hortons. That's false.
I've never had a Dunkin' Donut.
I'm pretty
I think
sure-
I've had one.
I've had a Krispy Kreme because they have one in South Surrey there.
That's one of my nicknames.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, it's
Krispy
weird.
Kreme.
It became Krispy
Krispy
Kreme, then Krusty Kreme, then Krusty, and it's
Crust.
progressed to just Crust.
So that we have like group names, sort of. Cassie's is Tire, which is similar to her own name.
It's a very long story. We were walking home with like everyone has a nickname except for good old Cassie,
And we were wondering, like, what are we gonna call Cassie?
and then we were walking with one of our friends who has a
little brother, and he started pointing to random objects, and then he pointed to a car, and he was like, Tire!
And
we're like, that's it, that's the name.
so I'm
So.
tired.
Do you notice they finish each other's sentences?
Yep. It's very fun to watch. Yeah. Do you have a nickname, Mr. Kung?
No. Or are you going to make me one?
No, I was just asking.
Well, go ahead and make me one.
Well, talking about like,
Do you have a nickname?
oh, I got a bunch, but talking about
No, I don't mean things people call you. I mean like a...
What do you mean?
Like
I
mean
thought that
things
wasn't
people call you.
mean
Things that
things.
people call you.
What's your nickname?
Oh, like through middle school, I was Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
Yeah. Then,
Hey.
then when I was in grade 11 and 12, I was Big Mark Hut Hut. Then, because my brother was Turpy, I became Little Turp for a while.
I don't have a nickname.
Did you ever have a nickname in high school?
No.
Huh.
John, Johnny.
Johnny? Gianni?
There's this one kid who'd call me, like, every time he saw me, he said, John Kong! And I couldn't figure out why. Like, he thought that was cool.
Huh.
John Kong.
John Kung, the action star.
Yeah. He thought it was cool.
Coming to a theater near you.
That's as far as we got with nicknames.
And that's the new movie that...
But
Mhm.
like,
like,
Krispy Kreme to Krusty Kreme to Krusty to
Crust.
to Crust. So my brother,
I have many nicknames.
Spelled with a K.
yeah, my brother, when he was in high school, was Turpin to Turpy to Turp to Herp.
Herp is not good.
Herp is not good. Like that could go one of two ways. That could either be like a herpes reference, and that's not good, or doctors that study snakes are called herpetologists.
Oh, yeah.
And when you go looking for snakes, and I learned this summer because Mr. Kung wanted to go looking for snakes, and I'm deathly afraid of snakes. And he's like, let's go herping. I'm like, that just sounds terrible. I don't want to go herping. But yeah, my brother's nickname through high school was Herp. Hey, Herp. I'm like, no. That's a terrible nickname.
During the summer, I found like a YouTube channel that they study snakes and stuff, and they have a bunch of snakes.
Why do you not like snakes?
No.
They're evil.
No, not all of them are evil. Not all of them are evil.
Oh, no. They're all evil.
No,
you look a
some of
snake in
them
the eye, it's going to kill you.
No, some of them aren't poisonous.
We were going to look for garter snakes. They're
I don't
harmless.
want... No, they're not harmless.
They're just...
Hognose snakes are harmless too.
Oh. No. Can't do it. Snakes? Can't do it.
I did that in like my infotech presentation where I said if I wanted a pet,
Snakes?
I'd get a corgi or I'd get a snake. And
Why? Why would you want to own a snake?
I don't know.
Snakes don't feel empathy or affection.
I don't like spiders, so...
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't like spiders either.
But like a dog can love you back. And you know the dog loves you back. A snake doesn't. A snake wants to eat you. I heard a story one time, because I used to work at the aquarium, and there was a story about this guy, and he had a boa constrictor. And he obviously didn't have a girlfriend or a wife. He used to let the boa constrictor sleep with him in the bed.
Oh, I think you told the story where like...
Yeah, and then like it used to be coiled up all the time, and then as the snake grew and matured, all of a sudden he would wake up and the snake would be elongated next to him. So he thought, this is a different behavior than what I've observed before. I better call the zoo. Calls the zoo, and the zoo's like, yeah, bring the snake into us now. I was like, what do you mean? It's sizing you up to eat you.
Oh, that's how they measure.
Yeah, that's how they measure themselves.
Oh,
so like the snake, like the guy had owned the snake for years. There was no affection there. There was no love. The snake wanted to eat him. The snake wanted to kill him. Don't own a snake. They're evil at their core.
Well, just because you had a bad experience at one McDonald's doesn't mean you never go to McDonald's again. You just go to another McDonald's and hope.
I have never been back to Jack in the Box. I threw up at a Jack in the Box when I was 1 year old, and it probably had nothing to do with Jack in the Box, but I've never been back.
Jack in the Box.
It's an American fast food chain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've been there before.
I was there like once. I don't remember what I ordered. Probably something like, can I have like a cheeseburger except with nothing but the patty and cheese?
You don't like condiments?
That's what I got when I was younger.
Wow.
Now I get like Big Macs except with no pickles. I just don't like.
Have you ever
pickles.
seen a Big Mac no meat? Because I think that's the saddest.
It looks
burger
sad.
to
Like
grace
it's
the floor.
Oh, you're talking
like,
about the Beyond Meat?
No. A Big Mac burger with no patties.
It's literally just the bun
Why
and
would
the
they-
lettuce and the sauce.
They actually
a
have
bun,
that?
lettuce, sauce,
Yeah.
and the bun. And
You
that's,
can order that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Is it
can
free?
actually
Like you go up to the
No,
kiosk
it's
and
not
you
free,
hit,
you have to
okay,
pay.
I want a Big Mac. And you'll go, okay, do you want a Big Mac, a double Big Mac? Or do you want Big Mac no meat?
No, I've never heard that.
Because like you know those the electronic
Canada?
kiosks at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can see different menu items. See, that's what it looks like.
It actually says that.
Yeah. You can get a Big Mac with no meat.
Why?
Why? Exactly.
What's mildly infuriating to me about those kiosks, though, is you can't get light condiments. You can get extra, you can
That's
get
so
normal,
sad.
but you can't get light. So you either have to if you want light Toto sauce on your fillet of fish or something, you either have to go with no Toto sauce, regular Toto
It
sauce.
doesn't matter
or
at that point because you're at McDonald's. You don't go to McDonald's and order healthy food.
I don't eat beef burgers from McDonald's. I eat only fillet of fish for some reason.
What about chicken?
I alternate between
chicken nuggets.
I alternate between the McChicken and the Big Mac. Those are my mains. It depends how I'm feeling.
Oh, you'd love that.
Oh, it's just the McPickle. Oh God.
It's a McPickle. It looks like a Big Mac, except there's no meat. Instead of meat, there's only pickles.
Ah, that's terrible. I saw there's people on TikTok that like you can order minus the ketchup or minus the lettuce or something like that. So they take a regular cheeseburger and they minus everything except for the cheese, and they just get a single slice of cheese in the box.
I can imagine though, if you're like at a really popular McDonald's and you're like, okay everyone, we've got the TikTok stars coming. Let's prepare 5 orders of cheese.
So much time wasted.
So much time wasted. Have you ever like, they won't make this for you at McDonald's, but have you ever tried some of the like weird off-menu stuff?
I haven't
like a Frankenburger?
I haven't tried off-menu before.
So Frankenburger is you order a McDouble and a junior chicken, and you take the chicken patty out of the junior chicken and you put it in between the 2 beef patties of the McDouble. They call it a Frankenburger. You can also have one called the Land, Sea, and Air, where you get a McDouble, a junior chicken, and a fillet of fish. You take the chicken and the fillet of fish and put it in the McDouble, and you got beef, chicken, and fish. The Land, Sea, and Air.
That
burger.
Reminds me of like a turducken, where it's like a turkey, and then there's a
duck stuffed inside
and
and
then
a
there's
chicken
a
stuffed.
chicken.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I've had a cake called a Cherpumple, and it was a cake with a cherry, pumpkin, and apple pie baked into it in layers.
In layers.
That's not a pie at that point. That's just a cake.
No, it was a cake with the 3 pies baked into it. It was called a Cherpumple cake. And because it's 3 pies baked into the cake, it's so tall that like the slices are only like a sliver because it's so much food. But yeah, Cherpumple.
Can I just say I don't understand what is going on.
I think of all
That's
talking
a reasonable
about-
observation.
We've been talking about memes and TikTok and burgers without meat. What is going on?
I think of all of the podcasts we've done. And how many have you and I done together?
I don't know.
This is probably like our...
Cassie?
I think
Technically the third. This is technically the
you were in the
33rd
second
episode.
one.
But the second one I was the subject of.
I think you've co-hosted the most. I think.
Okay.
Yes.
But I think that this is definitely the episode where we've had the most diverse topics of conversation.
I guess you could say
I
that.
love when that happens. Is like when a teacher's talking, like this happens to you too. It's like you talk about one thing and then you talk about another and another and another.
Oh,
and suddenly you're
it's
talking
very
about, like,
easy for
politics or
Mr.
something.
Turpin to go down that route.
I love when that happens though. When
We've
there's like
taught together.
Yes, we've team taught, and Mr. Kung.
Mr. Kung's tapping his watch,
Yep.
which he doesn't wear.
Yeah, but,
This is called miming in acting.
yep.
I don't wear a watch.
Making
Yeah,
frowny
but-
faces.
Yeah. Really angry.
Just like draw a frowny face on your wrist, like
Yeah. But yeah, no,
That's
when we
a good
taught
idea.
innovation, there were several times where Mr. Kung had to... Okay, Mr. Turpin, let's try and bring us back to topic
Let's
here.
try to bring it back.
What were we talking about again?
I find that the longest ones too are the ones that you co-host. There's about.
I think this is the longest one.
Well, yeah, we're at an hour 35 right now. Which is,
Oh yeah, that is the longest.
Yeah.
The longest is an
An hour and
hour,
31 minutes.
which I just finished.
Was this your plan all along, Cassie, since you listened to all of them to break
We're gonna
the
have like
record?
a 9-hour straight podcast.
I'm hungry. I want to go home for dinner. My wife texted me.
too.
She's like,
I can
she's like,
bake
"Where
a
are
you?"
Toledo
Yeah,
Surprise.
she's like, are we making risotto or are we making pizza?
Bake a Toledo Surprise.
So you guys, Toledo Surprise. Are you guys looking forward to any other musicals coming up or acting opportunities or anything like that?
I want to be in more shows.
Yeah.
And I'm going to audition for next
So
year.
you guys did Shrek.
We did Shrek.
Was that your first
I think
musical?
that
Yeah,
was the first.
yeah. I wasn't
Oh.
like super excited because I was like, I'm not very good at acting, and then I got in there and I really liked it after a while, and that kind of inspired me.
Drowsy Chaperone was
Yeah.
terrific.
But we haven't done a typical high school play before.
We've only done musicals because
NDSS alternates,
Yeah.
but
So do we.
So did
Yeah,
we.
but
the alternation is different. So every year that NDSS does a play, we do a musical. Every year we do a play, they do a musical.
So they did a play this year, but we did a musical this year.
Yeah.
So next year is going to be a play. So
That's gonna be my
it's a different experience. Yeah,
So you guys are going to try out for that.
yeah.
Do you know what you're doing yet?
The Diary of Anne Frank.
It's going to be sad. I need to read the diary still.
I'm kind of scared to do it.
You've never read it?
I've never read it.
Oh.
It was part
I've
of
read it.
You've
I've read it.
It was part of
Yeah.
Cassie's English class, but
Right.
I never read it. I need to read it over the summer at some point in time.
Oh, you have it on you.
Oh, heck yes.
Is that the script or is that the actual?
That's the script. My favorite part of one of my favorite parts about putting this on is going to be, where does it say? If artistically desirable, the play may be performed without an intermission. Alternatively, the play may be performed with an intermission, leaving the actors on stage.
You talked about that, where like they can, because they're stuck in the attic, and they're just continuing to live on.
To live while the audience has an intermission. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, yeah. I guess Lynn was on stage the whole time.
Well, it was Lynn's apartment.
Yeah.
They wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't do that, but I let Lynn mingle with the audience.
I like that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
But
I remember in Matilda, you saw Matilda.
Yeah.
They actually came back from intermission where the dad
they
and
were
the
talking
son
directly to the audience.
Well, the dad and son, they're talking to the audience, and they start
that was my favorite
singing
moment.
the song, and then people are like still
Everything I
standing
learned
up.
from Tadai!
You guys have to see Matilda. Actually,
it's playing at the Arts Club right now.
Yeah, it's in town.
At the
Little Doll.
Yeah, the Stanley Industrial Alliance stage.
Tim Minchin.
There's so many like different fandoms that I want to get into, different books I want to read, different TV shows and musicals and stuff like that. But whenever I have free time, I'm like, I need to do something productive, and I need to work, I need to clean or something like that, or else I'm not doing something useful.
Because I love and hate summer at the same time, because it's like, at one point it's a break, but then also you have all this free time, and then you don't know how to spend it, and I suppose I could get into musicals, but then I end up not doing that for some reason, and then I have an existential crisis, and then...
I should just give you a musical to become a fan of over the summer.
Well,
that's what Kristie did with Hamilton.
That's what happened, and I fell into a hole, and I'm still not out of that hole. I mean, I got into...
That was your presentation, right?
I did a presentation on Peggy... Skylar.
Yeah.
And Peggy.
And Peggy.
The Skylar sisters.
Peggy is like, I don't know, I read a biography of Eliza.
Yeah.
And they talked about
It was
Peggy.
really sad because it reads like a book, and
it's really interesting, and they talked about whether this scandal was a thing or not, because
there's a theory in it that it
was made up by James Reynolds and Alexander Hamilton to cover some other like money thing, and
which scandal?
The Reynolds pamphlet. You know when Hamilton was with Mariah Reynolds and they had an affair, and in order to keep it hush-hush, Mariah Reynolds' husband says, you need to pay me to keep it quiet.
Oh, okay.
And then the scandal broke because Hamilton was spending money, and everyone's like, he doesn't have money to spend. So they said, we need to, basically like what Donald Trump was like, we need to see your tax returns. So basically he comes back and he says, okay, here's all my money, here's the money that I've spent, and here's the Treasury Department, which I didn't tap into in order to pay off my blackmail debt, but then in order to prove that he wasn't spending capital funds, he had to admit to having this affair and pay off the blackmail.
He's like, I wasn't using the government's funds. I was too busy cheating on my
wife.
Yes. Yeah. But what's really tragic too is that if that book is true and that the affair never happened, and then it says that Alexander would have told his wife, which means that Philip Hamilton died for nothing.
They had some good points in the book where it's something like Alexander, like there's letters from Mariah to Alexander, and it said that it could have been forged by Alexander to make it up.
Like the simplest words are misspelled and really complicated words are spelled perfectly.
And they're like, I don't think something's right. And there's also something like the letters were really like, I love you, Alexander, etc., I want to be with you. But when they confronted her, she cried.
So he created the letters as a distraction?
She didn't look like she was in love.
So then what would have been the purpose of...
It's like to save... I can't remember the exact purpose.
Who would claim to have had an affair and cheated on their wife who didn't? Like, that seems like a really bad idea.
It's to save something, like...
apparently it was something else, like, they were doing something, and then they were like, and then I'll just do the affair, and it won't get out. anywhere or something.
So anyways,
It wasn't meant to be public in the first place.
right, Hamilton ends up coming up with a public admission of what he had done, and he wrote it in a pamphlet that came to be known as the Reynolds pamphlet.
And apparently it was really detailed.
Yeah, really. And according to Lin-Manuel Miranda, it reads like a dissertation mixed with a Dear Penthouse letter. It's so academic and yet so filthy at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
I was
He
reading
wrote his own
like,
smut fanfic.
yeah, he wrote his own smut, but like as an academic, he was so
Like
smart.
with fancy flowery
Yeah.
language and all that stuff.
Yeah. I was reading a book or something about like fun facts about U.S. presidents and founding fathers and stuff. And I saw I don't know how accurate this is because I only have one source, but it was something like when George Washington died, his wife attempted to burn all the letters or something, and then some of the letters were discovered. This guy was going to publish them. Then he burned them too, stating that they were too smutty.
Wow.
Wow.
Did it have to do with chopping down a tree?
No clue.
George Washington chopping down a tree?
Didn't he chop down a cherry tree?
Yeah.
That was the story, right?
Oh, yeah. Also, he didn't have teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
he did.
Yeah. And his false teeth apparently were made out of wood.
Chewy.
Yeah.
That's so terrible to think about because that's like getting splinters while you... That's terrible.
Well, I think we got to get out of here now because we are going to have to... Our wives are texting us now.
I'm getting really hungry.
It's emergency time.
I think
No,
I have,
never
like,
mind. It wasn't wood. But he did have 4 sets
so you
of
lied.
dentures. No, I didn't lie. I was misinformed. George Washington's teeth began to fall out before he was age 30. He eventually lost them all. During his lifetime, he had at least 4 sets of dentures made to replace them. Although many believe they were made out of wood, so that I'm not completely BSing. There was a theory. They were all actually made out of other materials such as ivory and other human teeth.
Oh gosh, it's like, why do you need to take my tooth? It needs to be given to
George Washington.
so he can
I guess, I mean, that's not terribly weird. I mean, you could like
Well, that
donate
is weird. I
You could
would
donate
not
a
want-
kidney. You know.
Well, other people's
same
teeth in my
difference.
mouth?
Do you want someone else's kidney cleaning your blood?
I guess that's similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not licking your kidney all the time. That's... I don't know. There's
I was
something...
reading like weird facts online, and one of them is like, you're inside of you, it's like completely dark. Because like when I picture my inside, it's like there's light, but apparently, it's dark.
And
you're
it's
lucky,
red and
you're
purple and
if you're
different
lucky,
colors.
your intestines will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Let's keep it that way.
Unless you swallow a glow stick.
A glow stick, not a.
That's not daylight. I had this theory. I came up with this yesterday, and I told my theater company that when my daughter starts losing her teeth, I'm going to collect them all, and instead of giving her money, I'm just going to give her these little messages that say "I owe you," and then when she's lost her final baby tooth, I'm going to like take all the teeth and build them into
Reassemble
dentures,
them?
and, reassemble them and give them back to her. It's like, here are your teeth.
But some of the teeth, they like shrink. Like after you keep them for a while, they become really small.
I was looking at some of my baby teeth because I lost it. I recently lost one, and I was gonna add it to my collection.
She was like, we were in the bedroom, and she's like, "Hey, look at this!" And she's holding a little container, and she like pours it out, and she's like, "My teeth."
Here's your teeth, Kyla.
You don't believe in the tooth fairy anymore?
Mr. Kung, they're in grade 8.
I don't know.
The tooth fairy does not exist. Did I just spit on your face?
No, I'm just rubbing my eye because I'm falling asleep.
This conversation is that boring to you that you're
No,
falling asleep?
not boring.
You're just confused.
And it's
You
very
don't know-
hot in here.
Well, and we left the
The
windows open.
open. So
Yeah, we haven't.
I
gone for a
came
long
in
time.
here to interrogate these two.
It was like
I'm interrogating myself.
It was like 45 minutes ago that we saw Chahat. Like that's how long we've been in here for.
Oh gosh.
this is a record. Try and
Yeah,
get somebody
it is
to
a
beat this.
I noticed that as the podcast progressed, stuff got visibly longer. The first episode, not counting the mic test episode
She's
0,
analyzing.
I know.
it was like 30 minutes.
On the podcast.
And then the longest one is, besides this one, is episode 26, which is 1 hour and 31 minutes.
What was episode 26?
There's 2 guys who have a YouTube channel or something.
Oh, Shavneil and Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Can you just relay to the listeners at home the math that you did for the top locker?
Oh, the top bottom locker theory.
Okay.
Oh, that one.
So, I don't have all my papers in front of me. Some of it was written on the back of my math homework. And okay, so each year, there are 8 different possible combinations, like not locker combinations, but combinations in terms of having a top locker or a bottom locker.
Each year, and like what you can get
for 3
each year.
years that you theoretically have one. So, there are 8 possibilities. So, for the, and then each year, half of those are taken out, because if you have a top locker your first year or something, then you have like all the possibilities starting with having a bottom locker in grade 8 are knocked out. And so in theory, I think it was 12.5.
Yeah, 12.5.
Yeah, 12.5%. There is a 12.5% chance of getting each possibility, and you can only have one, like each possibility, as in having like a top locker for 3 years, or a bottom locker for 3 years, or a top locker, then a bottom locker, then a top locker, and such.
They did the math on the likelihood of getting a top locker.
The likelihood of getting a top locker for 3 full years, in theory, is actually 12.5%, which is higher than I was expecting it to be.
We both got top lockers. We're next to each other.
That means that since half of the possibilities are wiped out, all of them containing a bottom locker, there is now a 25% chance that I will have a top locker all throughout the years that I have a choice between a top and bottom locker.
Can we get more students like them?
That's so interesting.
Students
We
that
need to come
think.
up with cloning.
Students that think. Like, this is what I like about these two.
And
is that they
analyze
think.
Shrek and come
That's
up
so
with
much fun.
Mafia Backstory.
Which also means, though, I also did it, too, as if, like, if you had the possibility of having a top or bottom locker for 5 years instead of 3, and then that possibility shrinks to 3.25% chance of having a top locker for 5 years, which means, in theory, if there's like 700 people in the school, right?
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah. Then that's about, like, I think, like around 20-ish to, like, 23-ish% or people would have a top locker throughout all of high school.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You're speechless, Mr. Kung.
I don't think you need your notes.
Yeah, you don't need
Here,
this.
we'll end it off this way.
Okay.
I'll give you a parting gift because nobody else seems to appreciate these. And I 3D printed these solids
Leo.
of constant width.
I thought those were candies.
These are don't eat this unless
Okay.
you can digest
No
plastics. These are solids of constant width, which means that they are the same width no matter which way they're oriented. So if you, say, put them under this box here, it's like here, just roll them under there. And
It's
you put
gonna
the
be like
blocks
the
on
same
top.
level.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
I thought you would appreciate that.
It's like if you had a
Every
marble.
time I bring those out, everybody
It's like a-
walks away from me.
I like them.
Yeah, Mr.
It's like
Turpin
a triangular
was interested.
marble.
Yeah, they're like a triangular marble.
They're called Relu triangles. Relu triangles.
Ugh.
Some French
You can
mathematician.
make like candies that look like this.
Yeah,
That would be a good selling point, I think.
Yeah.
right,
like-
because when you swallow it, it's like constant width all the way down.
And when you swallow it, you have to be able to digest plastic.
Well, enjoy those solids of constant width, and thank you for being on the podcast,
Yeah.
the Marathon Podcast.
The Marathon Podcast.
And I hope you listen to this one, Cassie, because
Yeah.
I'm
you
gonna
need
listen
to
to this
analyze
one.
all of them.
Yeah, I talked to some people who were on the podcast. I'm like, I haven't listened to my episode. I'm like, really?
People don't like their voice. I don't like my own voice.
I don't like
right?
my voice sometimes.
I'm
Yeah,
not
people-
like a huge fan of it because also I can't really pronounce my O's that well.
Mhm.
Like it sounds fine when I hear my own voice, and then when I hear it like it's actually spoken, I'm like, wow, Am I like 5?
I sound like an 11-year-old YouTuber that's like a really cringy 11-year-old Minecraft YouTuber. That's what
What's up, guys? We're gonna play another Fortnite.
What's up, guys?
We're gonna play another Fortnite.
It's funny. I've never listened to any of the episodes that I've been in because I feel like I've listened to this conversation already.
You've been there, yeah.
But apparently I need to be better about that because I just repeat the same quotes over and over again.
I repeat stuff too. Like, I was telling my friend something, and then I was like, wait, did I already tell you that? And she's like, I'm sorry to, like, sort of, like pop your bubble, but, like, you've told me this, like, 5 times.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have I ever told you my Guitar Hero story?
No. Unless Cassie's listened to it by a podcast.
No, I was joking. I already said it in this podcast.
Oh, I thought there was another story.
And then Cassie said, you've already said this.
Yeah, because I was like, wait a second. It's the same Guitar Hero thing about how there's instant
Even I heard that,
gratification.
and I only listened to, like, a little bit. I didn't binge listen it.
Well, now you will.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for listening to How Long Is This?
You guys, the challenge is out there. Create a meme.
Corn,
We'll put it on the social media.
Subscribe to Ceramic Star. You can tell it's the one because the banner is misspelled. It's the YouTube channel of one of my coworkers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Corn.